Boy, San Diego State really came back. I don't know whether it had something to do with what I said on KUSI on Saturday morning. I do a big sports commentary at 6:30 every Saturday, but I spent a lot of time on Aztec basketball, not being the same team, etc. They came out and they choked Boise State. They held Boise State at one point to 13 points in about 23 minutes. They beat them. They beat them on the boards. They beat them with a three-point shot. They beat them defensively. But last I checked, John, only counts as one win. Now, they're going to get a really lowly Fresno State team on Tuesday, and then they go to Utah State on the weekend. And that's really going to be the crux of the matter. Has this team come together? Has it found itself? Or is it going to get blown out up in Logan, Utah against a really good Utah State Aggies team? But for at least one night, that was vintage Aztec basketball, so I am pleased with what they did. UCSD. I haven't looked at the NCAA stats recently. They have to be one of the best three-point shooting teams on the planet. They're now 22-4. They're going to go to the NCAA tournament if they win the Big West tourney. Now, whether or not they could be a bubble team if something bad happens in the Big West and they stumble, I don't know, because their strength of schedule is really substandard. They haven't played a lot of good guys, but they played good teams that they kind of held serve with right till the end, including San Diego State, who they scared. But boy, UCSD's three-point shooters are amazing. I wish I had a solution at the University of San Diego. They're now 4-24, just really conserved, and Steve Lavin's going to be the fall guy for this. They don't have a lot of players at this point. They're very, very young. They have flashes where USD plays well, and then flashes where they get their doors blown off. I don't think they got a lot of resources. I think USD needs to step back and try to analyze how do they make this West Coast Conference program better? Because football is a non-scholarship program. Basketball is not competitive law. I feel really bad for Steve Lavin. Geez, did you make a bad mistake coming here? Or did you come here hoping you could get support and they don't have it? Nobody goes to their games outside of when they play Gonzaga or St. Mary's. It's a 4-24. That's about as bad historically as they've ever been. And this is the worst life year that Steve Lavin has ever had to coach in. So, John, go ahead.
It was nice to see the Aztecs come out, all guns ablazing, and the storyline around Wayne McKinney and the team meeting. He, rarely speaks, but he got up in front of the guys and says, "Hey, man, we're good. We're really good if we can just turn on the Jets for 100% of the game." So it's nice to see that, but it still was kind of a little bit of a close finish there at the end. I have confidence. I can see the Aztecs making a deep run in the Mountain West Conference tournament and maybe winning this thing. And because if they get all their ducks in a row, they're going to be terrific.
But that didn't happen very often. Last I checked, Saturday's bomb job of Boise only counts as one win.
But the second half of the San Jose State game was good. I mean, so they figured some things out, and Magoon, Guath, oh my God, this guy is fantastic. So I'm feeling confident in the Aztecs as we finish the season.
You're not homering here, are you?
No, I'm serious. I think they have a really good shot because right now they're number 3 team in the Mountain West. They're not going to win the regular season unless the Lobos take a dump. I don't see that happening. The Tritons I want to talk about because they are not just winning; they're winning by like 20 points. Like
and different guys are helping them every night. I mean, it's just not Tate Jones and it's not McGee. It's the other guys, their guards and their forwards. It's just got a compilation of really good players.
Yeah, I mean, there really is. I mean, McGuy is just fantastic, and then Hayden Gray. I mean, they got some bigs that are good. Tate Jones kind of has a knack for driving and drawing the foul, gets to the line a lot, but it's not that they're just winning. They're winning by a ton. And, they lost in conference games against the first game against Irvine, and then they beat them again. And then they lost a game against Riverside, but then they beat them on the flip side there. But to your point, though, there are listings of the Tritons as being the next 4 in or the next 8 in, assuming Irvine wins the tournament. So could the Big West be a 2-bid league? Unlikely, but you could make a case for both these teams.
No, I'm just going to make the case they're going to win the bloody conference. They're going to beat Irvine again, and they're going to get the guaranteed bid, which would be cool.
It would be fan. I mean, again, as an alum, never in a million years that I ever expect this. And as far as the Toreros are concerned, they've got a great facility. It's a modest size, but it's sweet. They got a good coach and name coach. I just think they need like a recruiting strategy because, Randy Bennett in St. Mary's had his Australian connection, and then when Fisher came here to San Diego State, they recruited on defense, so you got to have like kind of like a little niche that you can carve out and kind of build an identity around your program.
I concur. Gonzaga and Few, they had a European connection that really got them up off the floor and started a cycle that they just continued to do and run through. Lavin, his first year, he got bounce backs from some of them from Big East type schools. He just needs to be able to mine the field, but they haven't been able to do it. And if they don't have resources, if they don't have a good NIL package for basketball, then they got themselves a real problem. But I hope this does not be a press conference after the final game of the season and he exits, because I don't know that it's all his fault. It's more of a culture thing. I think it's a university financial support thing. I'm the only one that I know is talking about USD basketball and its problems, not in a negative fashion, just dealing with what is and what's happening to what I think is a really good coach.
He's a great guy, and you can't make a case that he needs to be fired. I mean, that's not the problem here. You got a good coach. Granted, it's the West Coast Conference. I would imagine that Santa Clara and Portland and Loyola Marymount are all going through the same struggle. How do we compete with St. Mary's and Gonzaga? And it's so damn hard in that conference. So I just think they need a recruiting strategy.
And if the Zags, who have already decided they're leaving to go to the new look Pac-12, and then St. Mary's, who's now being re-recruited to go to the new look Pac-12, then the whole conference changes.
Yeah, and what's amazing too is that the Tritons were playing UC Davis, and UC Davis is going to be moving into the Mountain West for basketball. So there's all this movement going on as well. So it's kind of tricky to figure out where USD is going to be in a year or two.
Okay, we go from all things college basketball to